Kevin said, hey, y'all didn't let me stay an extra night in New York. Hell, y'all think this is? Which I'm sure that is just a part of the problem with Maryland basketball.
Yes.
It's like, hey, if I can't even do this, what are we talking about here? But, well, so if he doesn't show up to the dinner, what's that mean? That means he's gone, right?
One would imagine, but he has a game to coach tomorrow.
I forgot they were still in it.
Yeah.
They are in the Sweet 16.
They sure are, the Crab Five.
It's Maryland and Florida, right? Maryland, Florida line 6.5.
Yes.
Yeah, hammer that Florida line. He's gonna take that whole team with him also.
Probably.
That's the other thing you can do now.
Yeah.
You don't have to sneak off and slink off John Calipari style and lock your doors and call people in secret. You can just say, all right, I'm out. Who's with me? Let's go. I can get you guys more NIL money, and we can stay that extra night in New York City we wanted to.
You can quickly go from being the Crab Five to the Nova Five, the Wildcat Five. Doesn't have quite the ring.
No.
Doesn't rhyme.
No. Crab Five doesn't rhyme either.
You're right, but it rhymes with Fab Five, so I was thinking of the spinoff of that, because that's why they do it.
Okay. All right. It all comes back to Michigan.
Always.
People trying to jock that swag.
Even Chris was complaining about Michigan. We're going to draft frustrating things in sports, and we were talking about ref calls, bad officiating.
It was a block, wasn't it? Trey Burke blocked him.
It was
clean. It was a block. And Louisville, they wouldn't even let Louisville keep that championship.
What a waste.
So, just give it to Michigan at this point. We should have two. What was the song?
Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. That's just the way it is.
Oh, okay.
Things are not really the same.
Yeah, that's a good song. That's one of those good, anti-establishment songs. I think that's what rap started. I've been thinking about that. Rap started as so anti-establishment, and now it's just pop. It is the establishment right now, which is odd.
I agree. What's up, everybody? It is Thursday, March 27th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass coming up on today's show. Grizzlies game night in Oklahoma City. It was an eventful night last night in the NBA. A LeBron buzzer beater, some Jokic magic. We'll catch up on all the happenings there. Teresa Walker is going to join us about 20 minutes in. We get more tournament games tonight. The Sweet 16 begins. We'll get her take on the SEC teams left standing on both the men's and women's side. Plus, are the Titans really going to draft Cam Ward with the #1 pick? We'll get the latest on the Titans with Teresa. It is Thursday. It is a draft day, and we are drafting the most frustrating things in sports. We'll end with a little Theater Thursday, some movie news, big Marvel day yesterday. I read a hell of a play. We'll get into all of it. It is a Thursday. You know what we say. Happy real opening day, CJ.
It's real opening day.
Big baseball show. Real opening day.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzlies stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
We are in March, which is Women's History Month. True. And we were talking about how do we kick off the show? What can we talk about? And we were like, why don't we talk about women's shoes? The Sabrina one.
Okay. Can't go wrong.
Right?
That's a good shoe.
And the two, you could argue, is even better. But the one's
you can't
fine.
have the two without the one.
Yeah.
Though.
In the month of February, the Sabrina 2 was the second most worn shoe in the NBA in minutes played. The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
You've coached a lot of different versions of the SEC, and obviously there's never been one deeper than this. What's it like been coaching in this?
The reason for the league being so good is the commitment. Commitment to coaching, commitment to facilities, commitment to the NIL across the board. There is not anybody in our league that's not investing in all those things.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, hey, let's have a little fun now. Hey, I wanna let it all out. Hey, that's what it's all about. Hey, hey, 'cause I deserve this feeling, having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Happy Major League Baseball real opening day. Something romantic about baseball, CJ. I woke up. I didn't know it was opening day until I turned on ESPN this morning, but we ended up getting to it. It is also a Grizzlies game day. We'll get into their matchup against OKC. Last night, I did watch the Severance finale. I have knocked one of my television catch-up shows off.
How was it?
I really liked it. Chris was a little lukewarm on the season as a whole because we do this as a couple, you know, and very, very irregularly do we disagree on a show. I loved the finale. He was a little ho-hum on it. I will, however, really miss listening to Patricia Arquette's character say, Cold Harbor. Just like I eventually will miss Parker Posey's character saying, Pop or no. And I just would like those two remixed in my head for the rest of all time. But I still stand Severance.
Comedy drama?
No.
What is it? Okay.
No, it's a drama.
We were talking about it. I went down.
With Courtney?
Just past the chamber. Courtney and Ricky! So we were talking about it.
It's slow.
And they showed me a clip from, because we were talking about Huddle, and they were like, oh, there's a actual band that comes out, and like a marching band that comes out and perform. And they showed me that, and they were describing the things that happened that led to that point, and that what happened after that point. And I was like, oh, this show seems funny.
No.
Okay.
But there are moments like that that are just like the absurdity of those moments. Tremel Tillman, who plays the character who was the brand leader, I think he went to Jackson State.
Yes, he did.
There was inspiration from...
And they looked like the Sonic Boom of the South.
And then before I caught up with the episode last night, I had seen he did an event where the USC Trojan Marching Band came out with him too. So he's everywhere. I love him. I think Mr. Milchick is one of the greatest characters. Like, we will look back on lists of top 50 characters of the 21st century television, and Mr. Milchick will be on that list.
What makes him that type of a character?
He's so interesting.
Why?
There's so many layers. Like, every time you learn something new about him. No, because I can't give away the show.
Well, you're not
and there's still so much we don't know. That is the frustration with Severance.
Good, bad.
I mean, he's at face value part of a bad company regime doing bad things, but I think he is a good. Yes.
Okay.
He knows.
So he's a willing participant in whatever bad is happening.
He's a willing participant for whatever his reasons may be, but the quest for power, meaning, playing a role in something, but then also not being able to be true to yourself comes through that too.
So
I think he's the only black character on the show, if I'm thinking correctly. So that plays into it.
Is there a chance at possible? I mean, I'm assuming
I thought there was a chance at redemption. Like, I was upset.
He just willingly doesn't take the chances at redemption.
Correct. Yeah. Like in the finale, I thought there was a chance at redemption. And I had seen, because it was impossible. I was dodging spoilers left, right, everywhere in between. Scroll. You people who get off of the show like 10 minutes later and pop onto social media and want to spoil everything. I see you. And I think there needs to be a way. If we want to use AI for good, there should be a way to just block all things about a show that you're watching from social media. But I thought that perhaps that band scene that I had seen pop up would be symbolic of him doing a good thing in the finale. It's not. But he had like a jazz situation in season 1. So he's now had 2 musical moments that have been like pretty great scenes in television.
I feel like and with characters like that, the characters who aren't irredeemable, they have redeeming qualities and opportunities to redeem themselves. I feel like we know right around season 3 whether or not this character is ever going to redeem themselves. Are we there yet?
This is season 2.
Okay. So we still don't know if this character. So we've had a couple of instances where, hey, he could have redeemed himself and didn't. But season 3, I do feel, because Dexter was that way for me. Yeah. Where it is, okay, by season 3, and then season 4 comes along and the Trinity Killer pops off. It's like, oh no, this is just what he is. Like you figure out, okay, he can stop. He's tried to stop. Maybe he'll stop doing, in the case of Dexter, maybe he'll stop trying to murder murderers at some point in season 3, and then it just doesn't happen. And then you kind of shrug your shoulders like, well, maybe season 4? Season 4 pops off, Trinity Killer. Like, nope, this is what he is. So maybe, what's the dude's name?
Mr. Milchek.
Mr. Milchek. Maybe season 3
is the time to be.
And he can redeem himself by helping to bring down whatever this evil corporation is that allows you to sever yourself from yourself.
To never feel pain again. What a life that would be. But what would that be for?
And you don't feel, correct me if I'm wrong, while you don't feel pain, do you feel joy?
That's the question now.
Isn't it joyless?
We're seeing like the further creation of multiple innies. And so, like, where does the range of motion? Yeah, it's a whole situation. But we still don't have a quite answer. And does love prevail all? Like, if you don't know any emotion, like if you are a version of yourself and know no emotion, but you see somebody who you love and have had a life with dearly, is there some part of you that like inherently knows if you run into that person that you have a relationship there? Like, is that the one powerful emotion that is powerful enough to like withhold the stripping of everything else? I don't know.
So you're telling me
to be found on season 3 of Severance, because we didn't get a whole lot of answers. We just got some answers.
It's a love show.
I think isn't every show a love show?
Love story.
Like at its core.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Pokemon is love of a man and his Pikachu. Yeah, I think so.
The Pit. People love people. I know I have to catch up on The Pit. Did not have time last night. It was funny going into watching the Severance finale, which I was very excited on my calendar, on my couch. Was watching the beginning of the Lakers-Pacers game while we ate dinner, and the Lakers went up 17, and I was like, oh, great. The Lakers have figured it out right ahead of their trip to FedEx Forum on Saturday when they will play the Grizzlies. And then tapping into the end of that game, it's a tie game at the end of regulation, and to watch how that game unfolded at the end and how the whole day unfolded for the Lakers. Lakers come back, beat the Pacers on a LeBron buzzer beater. But for the day for LeBron James, it was an absurd day in the life of LeBron James, because all day people were talking about the Pat McAfee LeBron interview, which did not happen live yesterday. I believe it was pre-recorded the day before, but it aired yesterday. And LeBron gets on ESPN with Pat McAfee and proceeds to just roast Stephen A. Smith on his own network. And I could really not care less about the LeBron Stephen A. beef, but I did clock it because I saw everybody talking about it, saw some of the comments that came out. He called him on a Taylor Swift-like run of continuing to be aggrieved about the situation that the two of them had about Bronny James. And so that's taking over the timeline and the NBA just thought space. And then the Lakers game pops up, and the Lakers have been struggling a bit even since LeBron James comes back, and they go up 17, but the Pacers come back into it. And LeBron was 0 for 6 going into the fourth quarter, and he ends up with 10 points. and the buzzer beater. And it's his first buzzer beater as a Los Angeles Laker. His 8th buzzer beater of his career. He is now second all time in buzzer beaters in NBA history, second only to Michael Jordan. But he gets maybe the easiest buzzer beater I have ever seen, because all he has to do is play cleanup crew for Luka Doncic. So Lakers down 119-118, final seconds of this game. Ball is going to go to Luka. Luka's going to go for the win. He misses, and just an easy little tap in for LeBron James. Like, oopsie, you put all your focus on Luka Doncic? That's cool, because LeBron James is right there to get the game winner for Los Angeles. So this moment happens, Lakers win, LeBron gets the walk-off. You would think that would be enough, right? No. No, he had one more thing in him. Also, Tyrese Halliburton was distraught after. There was a slow-mo of LeBron and Halliburton, and he's like, why'd you have to do that to us, man? Like, why'd you gotta do that to us? LeBron, after the win, because he's in his King Petty era, CJ, he gets on Instagram, and he posts a video of Stephen A. Smith boxing, and then it cuts to a clip. This is the clip that LeBron posts on his Instagram. So it's Stephen A. getting some punches in, because at some point, Stephen A. yesterday had said that if LeBron had put hands on him, he would have swung at him. And the audio of the end of that clip is the guy going, womp, 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 womp. Like, what is the world that we are living in? Roast Stephen A. in the morning on ESPN, on his network, have a buzzer beater, and then proceed to hop on Instagram at night and get a little extra petty in before bed. And every single member of the Lakers team liked that Instagram post. That's team chemistry.
Yeah, that's their boss.
They're all
You gotta like it.
boss.
What are you talking about? It's LeBron James. He'll trade him tomorrow. Get your head out your ass.
It's their boss.
That is their boss. What are we doing here? They're supposed to. It's not chemistry. Everybody knows where they fall in line at. It's the Lakers, then it's the buses, then it's LeBron. And I'm sure. I'm not
sure. I think that might be more of an even line.
I think
there.
LeBron is ahead of some of the Bus family.
Yeah,
certainly. But like he's up there is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, they're supposed to like it. The win for the Lakers. What am I supposed to do here? Are we going to talk about what it actually means and why it matters? Or are we going to talk about the goofiness that is LeBron James going on Pat McAfee and the lack of control that ESPN has over Pat McAfee, which is great because you don't get to go on other people's networks and just take a flaming hot dump on the biggest of biggest stars on said network. You don't get to do that. Pat McAfee he's done this before. He's had run-ins with ESPN leadership. Yes. And instead of just swallowing it and being like, okay, I'm not going to say anything, he's run out and done interviews about, this person at ESPN doesn't like me and I don't care. So they brought McAfee in to try and bring his viewers in and followers in, which they have. Great. But McAfee has shown that he's not playing. He's not on the ESPN team. He's there. He's a mercenary, and he knows
he's bigger than them.
He's bigger than them. Mm-hmm. And how can you have somebody bigger than your network on your network? The fallout from McAfee, whenever it happens, whenever McAfee and ESPN decide, you know what, we don't like each other, it's gotten to the point where we can't work with one another. Whenever that happens, the fallout, the arguments, the things that are going to come to light, give me some pudding pops, because I'm going to be sitting down and I'm going to be eating on my pudding pop while I watch that stuff pop off, because the stories are going to be great. Great, I tell you. I can't believe that McAfee got that version of LeBron on that network to go after that on-air personality. The whole thing at ESPN, it seems like, is built around Stephen A. Smith right now.
Right.
And for them to take direct shots on their network at him, incredible stuff to sit there and see.
And pre-taped. Yeah. Pre-taped. Like, that has been viewed by
what's coming.
Higher ups, by whatever execs have to pass that process, and then put on the air all day. And it takes over the entire news cycle. And, of course, Stephen A. plays his role and gets back in the ring, and it's just going to be endless air punches. But you're LeBron James. And then to go out and have a buzzer beater that night, and then to also pop off again on Instagram, like, that just solidifies his place in this. I like petty LeBron James at this point in his career. I do tire of these storylines quickly. I'm kind of like a ho-hum, shake-fisted cloud. This is just boring to me. Like, why do we care? But I also understand we care because of the players involved, right? And I agree with you. The media side of it, I think, is the most fascinating because you can say so many decisions, like the tree of ESPN and what has happened from different shows ending and different decisions. Like they announced yesterday, they're moving LA Sports Center to Bristol. They're like shuttering 13% of jobs in the LA studio offices. The LA Live studio for ESPN is right next to Crypto.com Arena. It's in that LA Live Center. And they're moving Sports Center and they're moving their soccer shows, I believe, as well to their Bristol studios. The only thing left is their NBA shows. So that has meaning. And then you have the meaning that Pat McAfee is bigger than Stephen A. Smith. They're the two highest paid people at that network. But I would argue that Pat McAfee at this point is growing into a more powerful position than Stephen A. And Stephen A. has had a lot of power for a lot of years, so I can't imagine a more powerful sports media figure, like what that looks like when it reaches its peak, because we're not at the peak yet. We're on the way up.
When it reaches its peak and it's not there, think about the most powerful sports media figures. Most of the time they're there at ESPN, and then when they leave, they take a bit of a dip. And this isn't
where you get like the Barstoolification of it all.
Didn't ESPN try with Barstool?
Yeah, and they failed.
Yeah, and think about that for a moment, right? Like ESPN tried with Rush Limbaugh.
They only tried with Pardon My Take.
They tried with Rush Limbaugh. They tried with Barstool. They've done this thing where they bring in outside media members, sports and otherwise. They bring them in, wanting to bring those viewers in, wanting to bring those followers in, and then immediately ESPN, well, not immediately, eventually. No, in both those two cases, it was immediate. It was like 2 months in. It was like, oh no, this isn't gonna work. Y'all got to go. Didn't Barstool say something about Sam Ponder or something like that?
I don't remember what it was, but they got yanked real fast.
And Limbaugh said something about black quarterbacks. I can't remember the particulars of it, but like, okay, you can't be on this desk anymore. You're clearly a racist person. And got them up out of there. And then everybody kind of goes back to doing their own thing, not continuing, to your point, the ascension in the sports media market and meaningfulness.
Yes.
Pat McAfee, they could try that with Pat McAfee. He's just going to continue to grow, though, it feels like.
Right. At this point, he's bigger than the network he's at. I would say.
Is he? You think right now he's bigger than ESPN?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Stephen A. is bigger than ESPN.
Okay.
He's just still attached to them at this moment. But if he left.
Was Skip bigger than ESPN?
No, it's like he was just shy
of.
Go ahead.
I think because everybody else was still there. Right. Yes. ESPN has become a one-trick pony, it feels like, where it is Stephen A. Smith and then whoever you can put around Stephen A. Smith. Whereas at its height, when Skip was there, at his height, Skip was there, Stephen A. was there, Mike and Mike was still there. You still had space for
like a Dan Patrick, a Colin Cowherd.
Well, Dan Patrick wasn't there still.
No, but I'm just saying, like, those are the kind of people that I'm putting in one tier, and then there's this elevated tier of McAfee, Stephen A., Portnoy, Bill Simmons.
Okay.
I would say those are the four who expand out of their followers will go where it's about them, not the brand that they're associated with. Even though the brand is there, of course, like Simmons is the Ringer, Portnoy is Barstool. Pat McAfee, though, this is where it's different. And for Stephen A. too, their brand is their name. Like there's no, like their fan club would be people who would stand their name, not a universe that they have created per se.
My point is,
this is an unexpected conversation.
My point is, fine. Stephen A. and Pat McAfee are on ESPN. Cool. Get rid of them. Who else is there who carries any like significant weight
for ESPN?
Yes.
I mean, they have a lot of, again, like different tier. It's not the same kind of weight. Scott Van Pelt still.
Okay, so Scott Van Pelt still carries weight. And my point was, when Skip was at ESPN at his height and at ESPN's height in the Skip Bayless era, there were a lot of dudes who carried significant weight at ESPN. And I think ESPN it's Stephen A. and Pat McAfee in a class of their own. and nobody else near whatever it is that they are from a stardom standpoint.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even from the Sports Center, I would say the next level of Sports Center would probably be that LA Sports Center with Stan Verrett and Linda Cohn, which used to be Stan Verrett and Neil Everett before he left. And now you're telling those people, hey, you either have to move to Bristol or your time's probably done. So, like, the fallout of that, I agree with you. It's a very tiered off system at this point.
And the difference between that first tier and that second tier is massive in a way that I don't think ESPN predicted or foresaw coming.
What a time. All right, we got to take a quick break because Teresa Walker is going to join us on the other side. Sweet 16 games start tonight, and there are some good ones. We'll catch up with her about that, the Titans. Plus, it is a Grizzlies game day, Grizzlies Thunder. And I have some important words written right here for the Memphis Grizzlies going into this game against the Thunder.
Oh, yeah,
CJ's excited. It's a church program. It might as well be. It's from the Memphis Grizzlies Women History Month.
Hold it up.
Nope.
Hold it
it's
up
a
so
surprise.
people can see. They can't read it. You're so far away. That's a church program, Jessica. I know a church program when I see a church program.
It's a pamphlet. We'll get into the Grizzlies Thunder and we'll be drafting most frustrating things in sports. We'll catch up with Teresa when we come back.
Touched on this earlier, the panel here about, what really has been the mainstay of the Grizzlies, and that's Jaren Jackson Jr. Trip has just been awesome.
He's posting guys up. He's stronger than he's ever been. He's physical, and he's scoring all type of ways.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping. It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be loud. We need just energy.
Back to Jared for the flash.
We're going to need, the Forum rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support.
When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bane 3. Yes, sir. Desmond Bane with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Tony was the defensive guy, but Zebo was the offensive guy. So you could speak to this. It's way worse when you're getting doubled, right?
You got triple. I had went through that court when I was in Portland. You had me on the team. You got triple. You hear me, Rose? You can't talk about those. You got to talk about triple.
You got triple teams.
This man was scoring on 3 dudes.
Swing, TA.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
I never in a million years would have ever thought that John Cena's final run would be as a heel.
I love it.
I love it.
Once they saw this from The Rock.
They knew it. Everybody knew it except for Cody, which was so good.
Great camera work by WWE.
And then the kick. Yeah, I don't think WWE gets enough credit for the camera work and the production quality. I mean, it is incredible.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Debo traded from San Francisco to the Commanders for a 5th round pick. There's no other sport where you would get a player of his ilk for a 5th round pick.
Over under total yards for Debo. If they set it at 1,000. You think he hits that over?
Total yards?
Total yards from scrimmage, total yards.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
It was all about trying to like get to ESPN for the highlights. That was the only place you were gonna get to see the highlights. Now it's all over social media. So ESPN, once social media came in, ESPN doesn't seem like they figured out how to do good sports television without the use of highlights.
Right. But I mean, it's obviously working because these people are making hundreds of millions of dollars and they have eyeballs and they have following. So
who's making?
Or is it?
Pat and Stephen A.
It's
working for two people.
It's working for individuals.
Them.
It's not working for the network, is it?
But those individuals are now driving the network, and then all decisions get made about that. And that's why it's not working. I think from a fan perspective, that's why it doesn't work, because you're not enjoying that coverage. But you're right, the highlight piece of it, and we welcome in Teresa Walker.
Hey,
we were
Teresa.
just continuing this conversation during the break. I'll never forget when I had a general manager. I love highlights. Obviously, I do them for Grizzlies games. It's been a joy to bring them back into my life. And I was really dedicated at the local sports space to doing highlights, especially when I moved here to Memphis, because at least at the time, if you were still tuning into like a Sports Center or a daily sports show, you generally weren't getting Memphis highlights. Maybe you were getting Grizzlies highlights once Ja gets drafted, but before that, like, you weren't getting Tigers football highlights, you weren't getting Tigers basketball highlights. If you were, it was one play and you're done. And so I still found value in highlights, and I was consistently told over and over again, there is no value in highlights because highlights exist everywhere now, because highlights exist on social media. And I would get in just long form arguments about how you could still make highlights valuable, especially in markets that are not Los Angeles, New York, the ones that Chicago, just the main story, but Los Angeles and New York, because like Teresa just said, or the Dallas Cowboys, like you're getting something from the Cowboys if you're watching ESPN, you're getting something from LeBron, maybe you're getting something from one of the New York teams, be it the Jets. If Aaron Rodgers had been good, we would have been force-fed Jets coverage up and down, but instead he's bad. So it goes right back to the Cowboys, who are also bad, but for whatever reason, that brand carries more longevity than the others. But
And I still don't understand that.
Yeah, I know. Join the club. Hey, Teresa, since we're on the subject of football, we will get to the Sweet 16 games that are coming up later today. But one of the big stories this week, the Tennessee Titans reportedly bringing in Cam Ward for a personal workout, and it sounds like love is in the air between the Titans and Cam Ward. That's how we talk about things going into the draft process, of course. I'm curious, what has it been about Cam Ward that you're hearing makes the Titans so interested in perhaps taking him with the number 1 pick? And is that still where things are trending here later in the week?
Well, there's a line from the movie An Officer and a Gentleman that comes to mind. I've got nothing else. And they just signed Tim Boyle yesterday, who I didn't realize was a quarterback in the NFL. But he crossed paths with Chad Brinker, the current president of football operations, in Green Bay. So apparently all roads head back to the Packers right now for the Titans organization in some way or the other. So they've added 2 journeyman quarterbacks to Will Levis. They've got Brandon Allen, who they added during the SEC tournament. They've got Tim Boyle, and they were all on site Monday at Miami's Pro Day to watch Cam Ward. And it's part of it is doing their due diligence. They met with him, their top 30 personal visit before the talking period, right? They met with Shedeur Sanders, Abdul Carter. They've done their due diligence. But the fact comes down to this. And in fact, I'm so positive that it's Cam Ward. I wrote my draft preview yesterday saying that likely Cam Ward is the name that they put on the card that they handed Roger Goodell April 24th in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Why? Because it just feels like they've set this up by adding these 2 backup would-be guys who, have been around forever, and if you don't think they've moved on from Will Levis, yes, I can make the argument, rookie contract, give him another chance. They benched him last year. And I mean, I'm just sorry. His numbers are better than the 2 guys that they've got. And what were their names again? Brandon Allen and Tim Boyle? Yeah, I'm going to have to write those on my hand. But they've got to start doing something. And while this is a franchise with a lot of holes, and look for the national guys. I saw a post last night. They're still looking. They could trade back. Yeah, they could. It's called, they're trying to ask those national guys to do what all us local folks won't, and that's try to gin up the trade market for them in a year where there just isn't, there's not enough quarterback dire teams. I mean, when the Giants made, I'm still trying to understand Jameis and Russell. I mean, God, talk about an interesting quarterback room. And the Vikings are like, I don't think we're all that into you, Aaron. And Aaron is like, well, I'm not into the Steelers. I mean, it's like, there's nobody desperate enough to come up and say, let me give you one this year, one next year, maybe even a one the year after that. There's just not a trade market there. The Titans are doing everything they can to create one, to at least give themselves options. But right now, my Magic 8, I don't even need to ask the Magic 8 Ball. It seems like it's absolutely Cam Ward because he seems to have skills that fit what Brian Callahan wants to do with this offense. And he's shown the ability to grow. 39 touchdowns last year, 7 interceptions, the yards. I mean, everything looks good to the eye. And, the decision-making in the heat of the moment in the NFL, guess what? You can only find that out in the heat of the moment in the NFL. And Will Levis failed that miserably.
Yes, we will never forget the memes of the 2024 NFL season.
Surrender, Cobra, Will Levis.
Surrender, Cobra,
Yes.
Will Levis. All right, Teresa, the draft is less than a month away, but we'll have plenty of time to continue diving into that. It is Sweet 16
A month
action
from
tonight.
today.
1 month from today.
I know.
That's exciting.
I know. I'm more interested in my son's wedding rehearsal, but yeah, Sweet 16 tonight.
When's your son's wedding rehearsal?
My son is getting his wedding rehearsal is the day of the first round of the NFL draft. So for the first time in 28 years, I will not be at the Titans covering the draft this year. So I'm sorry. I'll join you guys that morning, but we've got a wedding rehearsal, and the wedding rehearsal dinner coincides. The Titans will have made their first pick by then. I'm going to be into my dinner at that point, enjoying my son's wedding, which is the third day of the draft. I'm not paying for it, so I'm not complaining.
I love that for you. That's a very exciting time. And early congratulations, and we'll give you a congratulations again. But it is March, and it is still March Madness, and we have the Sweet 16 games starting tonight. It's always such an odd thing, Teresa, to go from just wall to wall to wall to wall to wall tourney games from Thursday really to Monday, with the women's second rounds concluding on Monday coming out of the weekend. But now we've had Tuesday off, Wednesday off. I'm so sorry to the NIT, not trying to disrespect. It's just the way it is. And now things pick back up with the men's Sweet 16 action tonight. Is there one game that you're most excited for coming up with these first games?
Yes, I'm kind of interested in Duke just because I haven't really paid much attention to Cooper Flagg. People who have say that Duke is all that, and he is too. But isn't it amazing that there is 3 games each of these 2 nights that all have an SEC team? And if it weren't for the bracket in the Midwest region in Indy, there'd be 7 of the 8 games would have an SEC team in them. The only oddity is that Indy features Tennessee and Kentucky for the 3rd time this year. But I mean, the SEC, it just means more, and 7 teams. It's almost ridiculous. You cannot escape them. So maybe that's why I want to see Arizona and Duke, is because it's the one game tonight. It doesn't have an SEC team in it, for God's sake.
Everything else is a whole lot of SEC. I'm excited for the Alabama BYU game. I think that's probably the game I'm most looking forward to. First to 100 perhaps could win that one. And then the Arkansas Texas Tech. Are you able at all, Teresa, to warp your brain enough to think of John Calipari as the coach of a Cinderella story Sweet 16 weekend with the 10-seeded Arkansas Razorbacks?
It is hilarious because 2 weeks ago he was on the bubble coming into Nashville, and now they're in the Sweet 16. I mean, has anyone ever argued that Cal can coach? The problem is getting his team to shoot free throws, winning at the key moments, winning titles, and that's where getting to the Sweet 16. No, I mean, and just, hey, Memphis, if you're listening, take that banner out of the closet, throw it up in the rafters, please, from 08. Hey, it's like, come on now, it's the Wild Wild West. Throw that thing in the rafters and wave it proudly. But for John, I mean, Calipari, we've known he can coach, and with the guys that he brought with him, I mean, my God. The fact I'm more surprised that Kentucky is in the Sweet 16, considering that they had nobody back. not one person back. He literally had to go create a whole fresh team. Cal essentially is like, guy, follow me to Arkansas. And I'm still a little surprised that some of those guys actually did. But, I mean, it's Arkansas. No offense, Arkansas. But, I mean, he can coach. Now, if he wins tonight and is on the verge of another Final Four, that, I think, may be one of the, if not the story of this NCAA tournament. That's just, that would be amazing to me.
I do think the two biggest characters right now are Cooper Flagg, and just because he's Cooper Flagg and the most recognizable face in the men's side of the game, and then John Calipari and what that could be. It is fascinating to see 4 coaches who are in the first year at their current programs, be it Cal at Arkansas, Dusty May at Michigan, Kevin Young at BYU, and then, like you mentioned, Mark Pope at Kentucky, who did have to turn over that whole roster, all into the Sweet 16 with their teams. And when you look at this Kentucky matchup with, yes?
You said Mark Pope turned over the whole roster?
Yes.
All of them.
All of them turned over
the whole roster. Arkansas was a completely new roster.
Yep.
I didn't know any of those dudes on Michigan's team before the first game of the season.
BYU went all the way to Russia to get a kid.
Which is the power of the NIL and the portal. And then secondly, this is why I'm curious to see which teams do advance to the Elite Eight, because Alabama experience. Mark Sears has been around there for more than a minute. Tennessee, look at their starting lineup. Meshack, Ziegler, Milicic. Those guys have been together for a bit. Chaz Lanier is the newcomer, but he's a guy who's been, he's a Tennessean. The teams that have experience with their coach, I'm curious to see how this plays out. And this is like the perfect scientific experiment this weekend. The brand new teams that have had a minute to put things together versus the teams that have a coach and players that have been together. I mean, a key moment this year was when Zakai Ziegler is looking at Rick Barnes against Alabama while Meshack's just running down and hitting the 3 to win the game. And Ziegler's looking at Barnes getting ready to take a timeout. And it's like, no, we just won the game. Yeah. So it's like, that's what I want to see. How does that play out tonight and tomorrow night? That part to me is going to be fascinating.
Yeah, no, I think this is such a fascinating tournament, like on the crux of change, right? Because you could say it's a one-off. The fact that there are no true Cinderellas in the Sweet 16 and all the schools are representative of the top 4 power conferences. You have transfers, I think, have scored 52% of the points in the NCAA tournament this year thus far, which is up from 28% in 2020, so now up to 53%. We had our first, at least of recent memory, player who had transferred into their new school to win a national championship be the most outstanding player of the tournament in Tristan Newton last year. Do we have a transfer who is the most outstanding player? Like, does this represent a real shift in when we start talking about players who ultimately win, teams who ultimately win, or does one of these teams that had more carryover, like that graphic that goes around of the starting 5 for each team left and where they started their college universities, and the easiest one to pick out is Purdue because all 5 of them started at Purdue and all 5 of them are still at Purdue right now. But for the most part, it's littered with transfers and schools from, you even look at Janai Broome. Like, if he were to be the outstanding player of the tournament, if Auburn wins it all, he started at Morehead State. Like, is this the beginning of that, or is this a one-off? We won't know until we're a couple years out, but it does feel as if this is the start of a new trend.
But for the people complaining that there aren't Cinderellas here, the teams aren't, the players are. Chaz Lanier is in his first NCAA tournament. He spent his last 4 years at North Florida, for God's sakes. And through the first 2 games, he's averaging 24.5 points. So he's certainly seizing his one shining moment. And as Bruce Pearl said last week in Lexington, Kentucky, anybody can have a shining moment. And that's what I think still draws eyes and will continue, because we want to see who does what next. And, so you just have to do a little bit more homework. It's not the name on the bracket that says, shout Cinderella. You have to get to know a couple of these guys to find out who is the person making the most of this moment.
Why the hell is BYU not being considered a Cinderella?
My dad and I had a long talk about this yesterday.
Well, share with me.
I don't think so. In a similar way, you know how Notre Dame this year in football was technically like the underdog?
Yes.
Nobody wants to. There's a lot of stigma with Notre Dame, and because it's a religious organization, not organization, a religious school. It's a Catholic school. And with BYU, I think people were closer to being able to do it with Notre Dame than they are with BYU for some reason.
But Notre Dame has a rich football playing history. This is BYU's 6th Sweet 16
since 2011 in Jimmer.
Yeah, so
and if they make it to the Elite Eight, it would be their first since the Danny Ainge years.
Since 1981. So I would, to your point, Teresa, yes, the players are absolutely underdogs on some of these teams. But I think that if you say, all right, forget the seeding, BYU and Ole Miss are your underdogs. Those aren't basketball schools. Those aren't rich basketball programs with traditions and history and things of that nature. Of winning, I'm sure they've got traditions and history. Fine, whatever, everybody's got that. But it's not baked in winning for either one of those. I would argue BYU and Ole Miss should be considered your underdogs this year.
I find what's happening in the state of Utah right now absolutely fascinating, and BYU basketball is a piece of it, and their NIL collective, and obviously the Church of Latter-day Saints and the Mormon Church has heavy influence in the state of Utah, and BYU being Brigham Young University, and the NIL package that they've created to bring in international players this year. You obviously have Richie Saunders, who just got his NIL deal with Tater Tots and Ora Ida. But can you really have can you be inspired by an NIL deal if it's your family's company? Sure, well, beside the point, but it's not like he went out and found a plucky NIL deal.
Weren't they already giving him money?
Weren't they already giving him money? Like, how does this work out? But I was fascinated, not to go too off topic, and the point being that BYU is getting the #1 player in the recruiting class next year in AJ Dybonsa, who we've all been hearing about for years and years at this point. If the Jazz were to get Cooper Flagg in the draft, then that puts a spotlight on Utah. The University of Utah, which doesn't want to fall behind, yesterday or sometime earlier this week, the University of Utah hired Wes Wilcox to be their general manager of their basketball team, and it is he was like the highest assistant GM in Sacramento with the Kings, and this is the first time that a high-sitting NBA front office member has left to take a job as one of these general managers. So if you're sitting here like, what's Utah doing? No, they're here to play too. I think just keeping a spotlight on basketball in Utah over the next few years will be such an indication of how money changed everything and how the NBA-ification of college basketball will have changed everything. So I went on this whole tangent yesterday.
But keep an eye on, I saw a blip that could change all of TV and sports funding, period. The idea of stopping pharmaceutical companies from advertising on TV. If that happens, I know that you talk about the Wild Wild West. It'll be almost like somebody's pulled a plug somewhere.
Really?
There's a proposal out there and if that happens, hold on, because you thought things had changed. It'll change drastically, because that will affect everything from pro payrolls to college payrolls, you name it, TV, everything.
Hadn't thought of that, Teresa. That's why they pay you the big journalist bucks. All right, Teresa, before we go, just real quickly, Tennessee women, Tennessee's one of the 4 schools that has the men and the women in the Sweet 16. What's your favorite thing about that team as they make their quest?
Aside from the fact that they do almost as many line changes as a hockey team does in the average 40 minutes, think about this. The only game that Kim Caldwell missed was the Texas game. They lost by 4. She gave birth because she missed the game Thursday night, gave birth on Monday, was out a week, was back on the sideline. She will be there Saturday in Birmingham for that game. I am really curious to see how this team comes out. Will not be surprised if the Lady Vols are in the Elite 8. It's been a minute. Let's just say, wait and watch.
All right, an all-SEC matchup with them in Texas in the Sweet 16. Teresa, we'll catch up with you next week. Consensual heart hands. Bye. That was Teresa Walker. We'll take a quick break here, come back. Grizzlies Thunder tonight in Oklahoma City as the Grizzlies wrap up their 5-game road trip. We'll get into some of the storylines going into tonight's game. Plus, we are drafting the most frustrating things in sports. Find out if your most frustration makes our list when we come back.
King wheels through the lane, now spins back. Ja hangs, puts it in. Oh, what a shot by Morant in the clutch. So hot. Oh, Jerry said no, because he doesn't put on the with a monster block.
Grammy, Academy, and Golden Globe Award-winning superstar Mary J. Blige, live in Memphis. The For My Fans Tour, live at FedEx Forum Saturday, April 19th, with special guests Neo and Mario. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The iconic Mary J. Blige for one night only.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
We are in March, which is Women's History Month.
True.
And we were talking about how do we kick off the show? What can we talk about? And we were like, why don't we talk about women's shoes? The Sabrina one. Okay.
Can't go
good,
wrong.
right?
That's a good shoe.
And the two, you could argue, is even better. But the one's
you can't
fine.
have the two without the one.
Yeah.
Though.
In the month of February, the Sabrina 2 was the second most worn shoe in the NBA in minutes played. The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Debo traded from San Francisco to the Commanders for a 5th round pick. There's no other sport where you would get a player of his ilk for a 5th round pick.
Over under total yards for Debo. If they set it at 1,000, you think he hits that over?
Total yards?
Total yards from scrimmage. Total yards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
We had big classic news from the Southern Heritage Classic last week when it was announced Arkansas Pine Bluff and Alcorn State will be the 2 classic participants.
Being a part of the classic is a big deal. It's the 3rd year for UAPB and the 1st year for Alcorn. So I'm just glad we were able to get it done.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Welcome back. It is a Grizzlies game day. The Grizzlies wrap up their 5-game road trip against the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight in OKC. And the Grizzlies back in 5th in the West today after that Lakers win last night. Lakers and Grizzlies both 44 and 28 this season. Lakers get the tiebreaker, so they are in 4th. Grizzlies in 5th. Just shows the night-to-night importance of seed chasing right now. And CJ, what if I told you of the 10 games left for the Memphis Grizzlies, only 2 of their opponents really don't need to win? Only 2. And one is the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I don't care what the opponents need to do. The Grizzlies need to win.
Yeah, but you can get help from the fact that the opponent is not trying their best.
I hear what you're saying. We've seen this Grizzlies team go out there and lose to shorthanded teams before.
We saw them start this road trip with losses to the Kings and the Trailblazers, so in recent memory.
Yeah, we saw them also in recent memory go out here at home to a Thunder team missing who? Dort? Who else were they missing that day? Chet. There was somebody else, but we've seen
that was just them this time.
We've seen them.
Jalen Williams is going to be out tonight.
We've seen them missing key parts of their team come in here at home for the Grizzlies and beat the brakes off those dudes. So I can't look to who's playing for the other team and who's sitting. All I can do is hope that the Grizzlies go out there and execute effectively and efficiently and come out with a win. That's all I really care about.
No Ja Morant tonight.
Okay.
Which means either he will make his return against the Lakers or we will finally get an update on Ja Morant's hamstring strain injury that crept up on this road trip when they return. They play tonight, and then the game against the Lakers is Saturday. I would assume maybe they'll have practice tomorrow. Probably not. So maybe a shoot-around situation on Saturday. All that said, the Grizzlies coming off a win over the Utah Jazz, a 37-point win over the failing Utah Jazz that did not inspire a lot of people. I saw a lot of discourse yesterday that they were like, so what? Who cares? Alternative, loss to the Jazz, would really care, would really be a bad thing. However, if you want a Grizzlies team to come on the up, this is where you perhaps could settle into some confidence, right? I'm not saying they will, I'm saying they could. And you're taking on a Thunder team that has 60 wins, that's without Jalen Williams, that's without growing Grizz killer Aaron Wiggins, and perhaps you carry over into a very important week because while the Thunder have won 60 games, are shored up in the number one spot in the Western Conference, upcoming you have the Lakers and the Warriors here at home. You have a game against the Celtics, which, yes, they're wrapped up at number 2 in the East. However, they probably want to avenge their loss to the Grizzlies from earlier this season. And then you look down the rest of the Memphis Grizzlies schedule that is upcoming, and every single game except for their game against the Charlotte Hornets is against a team that is jockeying for playoff position here down the stretch. So you have the Lakers, Celtics, Warriors, and then it is the Miami Heat, the Detroit Pistons, that game against the Hornets, and then the Timberwolves, the Nuggets, and the Mavericks, all fighting for playoff spots. So tonight's game against the Oklahoma City Thunder could be an opportunity to string together 2 games in a row. I brought something that has been sitting in my car since last Thursday. Remember how I talked about Women's History Month massages?
Yes.
It was a great day.
I bet it was.
They had candles, they had mood music, they had lighting, they had little gift bags.
We talked about this off air. I don't know if I mentioned it.
Wow,
on
Jacob,
air.
heavy sigh.
These women, Jacob. Listen, we only got one more day in the workspace to deal with them. We're okay. Is it 31 days? Is there Monday? Do we got Women's Month on Monday also?
I hope so.
Either way it goes. Walking around, they had
31.
So we got Monday. God. They had Pamper up on all of the TVs. Yes. Like, hey, it's Grizzlies Pampering Day. I was like, oh no. I didn't know we were donating Pampers to the needy. I would have went out and bought some. I didn't realize until I got home. No, wait a second. That was that nonsense for those women up here.
Well, I think one of the things that we got shouldn't just be reserved for women. As a kind woman, as a woman who also loves the men in my life.
Very motherly of you.
That's what I'm here for. Okay. Literally, that's my place on this earth. We were given this nice list of positive affirmations that we should be reading to ourselves every day. And I think perhaps the Memphis Grizzlies could use some positive affirmations, because when the world is loud and noisy and times feel bad, sometimes you just have to look in the mirror and say, you go, mama. You go. That's not one of the positive affirmations. Okay. So I want the Grizzlies to take this to heart going into a game against the number 1 team in the West. I am worthy of all the love, joy, and success coming my way. Don't laugh. Internalize. My presence is powerful, and I inspire those around me. I really want them to listen to this one. I radiate confidence, strength, and grace in everything I do.
I think only women radiate anything. I don't think we as men are allowed to radiate. You can't keep going. My stomach hurts. Stop
my
it.
light is unique, and the world is better because I shine. This is the shit we have to tell ourselves because we have to deal with all you men in this world. These are the papers. These are the pamphlets to help us and the Memphis Grizzlies.
And I'm not making it any better. I'm sorry.
Hey, how about this one? I embrace every challenge as an opportunity to grow and rise.
Stop it. Come on, man.
I uplift and empower other women because together we thrive. CJ, you should say this one to remind yourself. I am deeply loved, cherished, and appreciated just as I am.
He said, yeah, I didn't hear.
I am deeply loved, cherished, and appreciated as I am. Don't forget it. I deserve happiness, peace, and all the good things life has to offer.
Okay.
I celebrate,
Oh my gosh.
I am a masterpiece, beautifully made and filled with purpose. I like this one. Health, wealth, and harmony are entering my life.
Oh, you gotta say it just like that.
Health, wealth, and harmony are entering my life. I am building on the legacy of the strong women who came before me. And the Memphis Grizzlies, you need to do the same. Think about your mothers, your sisters, your daughters, your wives. I am love. Excuse me. It's important. I am love. I am light. I am limitless. I am limitless. It's the opposite of Russell Wilson. Unlimited. I am limitless. I am love. I am light. I am limitless. Thank you. Those are your positive affirmations of the day. Would you also like the wellness tips?
No.
Okay, fine. Sit up straight, but not stiff. Close your eyes and breathe at a normal pace. At the end of your exhale, count to 1. After the next exhale, count to 2. Repeat for 5 minutes. I'm going to pass out. Oh, this is good. You may not realize it, but your face is likely holding on to a lot of tension. Try stretching out your face muscles by opening your mouth up as wide as you can and then scrunching your face as much as you can. I'm so much less stressed. You can even try sticking your tongue out as you open your mouth wide and exhale for lion's breath, a yoga practice.
What?
Lion's breath, because I don't know if you know this, you're going to hear me roar.
I'm crying so hard, snot is running from my nostrils.
I really think that's going to help. You know, of all the people who are going to say a lot of things about the Grizzlies and their upcoming game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, what if they just need positive affirmations, man? What if they just need to look in the mirror and remember, I am love, I am light, and I am limitless. Anywho, Grizzlies Thunder tonight. Let's draft most frustrating things in sports.
That.
No, that's a solution. That solves a lot of things. You can also journal. You can also have a morning routine.
Spider duck. Yeah, keep going. Keep going till we get my guy.
Ooh, I'm an astronaut, and you're an alien.
They say I would be the most likely one to be an alien up here. Or least likely, because I don't care. Aliens have to care.
Aliens have to care?
But about pretending to not be one, right? Like I'm not good at
I've
pretending.
boat raced you.
Yeah, well, that's how it starts.
Month. And because I said my positive affirmations, my duck heard. I am a masterpiece, beautifully made and filled with purpose. And my purpose is drafting first. Most frustrating things in sports draft, the things that frustrate us the most. I have one clear number one pick, and it is from the game of football, dropping the ball before you cross the goal line. The most frustrating thing in sports is the premature celebration. We don't like premature things, and we certainly don't like premature celebrations.
There's not a pill for that?
There should be, for dropping the ball before the goal line, because you're trying to live dangerously. You're trying to live cool. No, you're living dumb. You have a 75-yard touchdown, and you're free, and you're frolicking, and oh no, you drop the ball at the goal line, and it's a touchback instead of a touchdown. And that is a depressing, frustrating thing in sports, and I'm sick of it, and it happens every single season because nobody learns from their mistakes.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
I think lack of effort is frustrating when you can see there's a lack of effort. You know it. You know it when you see it. Lack of hustle, like run in baseball, run it out. And in football, finish the play. In basketball, get out there, chop your feet, close out, those types of things. So I'm going to go lack of effort, my first pick.
That's a good one. With my next pick, I'll do injuries, something that hits close to home. And the idea of what if an injury didn't happen and how it can alter a team's ultimate quest at winning it all, or just the frustration of watching a player go down with an injury and understanding that circumstances for your team just changed dramatically. Short term, long term, anything in between, all injuries are frustrating.
Or like something like what happened to Derrick Rose.
Yes.
Brandon Roy, I'm think in basketball, but we've had those types of injuries in other sports where it's like, oh gosh, if this guy does not get hurt, what could he have gone on to be? What could he have gone on to become? Injuries is a good pick. I like that pick, Jessica. Do you have a favorite or most frustrating injury, your team or otherwise?
I mean, right now my
job,
life is a frustrating injury.
Outside of
how did Marvin Bagley get concussed on 3 days off?
He didn't read his affirmations.
No, I mean, from the Grizzlies angle, I mean, what would have happened with a totally healthy Ja in that series against the Warriors, I think is a fair question to be asked. And the Warriors go on to win it all that year. Could it be a different story if Ja hadn't hurt his knee?
Okay. All right. I think the one Grizzlies fans will go with around here would be the Mike Conley face and Tony Allen hamstring. I think those are the two, because that Grizzlies team was overachieving.
Yes.
Whether Ja was playing or not, I think everybody was just happy to be there.
But it felt like an ascent, and now how things have gone since, it just shows like the fleeting nature of that exact moment. And obviously, I'm very devastated about the Juju injury at this exact moment.
Oh yeah, the Juju
and my own injury.
Juju one is big. Juju one is a big current one.
Yeah,
also.
because it's not just this season. It's what happens. Will she do a redshirt year and stay an additional year at USC? But then that delays her professional career and the excitement of another big face and big talent entering the pro side of things in the W. So all of those things
robbed of a season of Juju playing basketball is not something that we enjoy. Lack of I'll say that one. Never mind. I'll go poor ownership. You can trade players. You can fire coaches. You can get new GMs in. You cannot get rid of a bad owner. An owner that does not care and does not make the moves that you would like them to make, or just good moves. Poor ownership will hurt your franchise way worse than the worst draft pick, way worse than the worst coach ever can, because those come and go.
Yeah.
The ownership stays for quite some time. So and you feel helpless. There's a helplessness that comes with poor ownership, because there's nothing you can do. You can complain all you want to, but that owner's going to do what that owner wants to do, and nobody's going to tell them what to do and what not to do. So give me poor ownership. Example: the Clippers. The Clippers before Ballmer came in, just an awful NBA franchise under Donald Sterling, and so bad that there weren't very many Clippers fans, because how could you cheer for whatever the hell it was Donald Sterling was trying to put out there on the court, and then his antics off of the court as well. So poor ownership, number 2.
Okay. Missed free throws. It's in the name. They're free. Free. And it's frustrating when you watch a missed free throw, and whatever the terms of that free throw are can have their own frustrations. Missing the front end of a 1-and-1, missing an important free throw down the stretch of a game. But I think the most frustrating culmination of it all is when your team loses a game by 2 points and you go back and look at free throws in the box score and they're like 8 of 16. And if they had just made 2 more free throws, if they had just been able to shoot better than 50% from the line as a team, you would have ended up at least tying the game or having an opportunity to win the game. So make your free throws.
All right, this is getting tough for me because I got like 5 or 6 that I really want to take. I'm going to go, I think I'm going to go with 2 footballs here.
Okay.
But I really want to make sure I get teams that don't tackle well. That's the whole point of football. The whole premise of football on the defensive side of the ball is wrapping the F up. Every time I see a broken tackle, every time I see a missed tackle, I die a little bit on the inside. It hurts me to see somebody just run up there and hit without wrapping up, without driving their legs, without using the proper tackling form, and then to see a player spin off of that and continue to run down the field. That pisses me off. That will get me up off of my couch. That will make me throw things if I see a team I care about with the inability to tackle. That bothers me.
It's a good one. I'm going to say anything that happens that prolongs a drive on a long third down or a long fourth down, like a false start or a pass interference, and especially a sketchy pass interference, but any penalty, holding, roughing the passer, the drive should be over, and they are gifted additional life because of a call that gives them a fresh set of downs. So a call that gives a fresh set of downs on a third and long.
You said that, and immediately, and I'm hot. If you could touch the tip of my ears, you would feel it. It's hot. It's steam is coming out. Because that damn Troy Smith roughing the quarterback or whatever the penalty was. It roughing? I think it was roughing the quarterback. He's running towards the sideline. He doesn't get out of bounds. Michigan knocks the hell out of him, as they should. And the ref throws the flag like unnecessary roughness on Michigan. Ohio State drives gets to continue. That was 1 versus 2. That was under the lights it was in the horseshoe. Jim Tressel, Lloyd Carr. It was great football. The last drive of the game got an extension because they say that you unnecessarily rough somebody who wasn't going out of bounds, and that drive got to continue, and it pisses me off to this day. That's a good one. That's a real good one. I hate penalties that extend drives. That's awful. I think everybody hates their second cornerback. Everybody hates the second defensive back because that is the one getting picked at. You're not going to go at common sense will tell you, hey, this cornerback is significantly better than the other cornerback. Why are we even going to throw at this dude? Throw at the other guy. Everybody hates the second cornerback on their team because he's the one getting picked at, and he's the one probably giving up big plays and, untimely for the defense, untimely receptions for first downs. That's the guy I think everybody hates on their football team the most, more than a poor offensive lineman, more than a struggling quarterback, more than a receiver who has too many drops. I think everybody hates that second cornerback.
That's a good one. So I wanted to take something here that Chris vetoed this morning, and I just want you to know that my power is checked often. He said, "You're back on your bullshit, Jessica," and I said, "How dare you? I should absolutely be able to take the wave with my fifth most frustrating thing in sports." Don't you think the wave is one of the most frustrating things in sports? I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take it because I was told no, but I think the wave is one of the most frustrating things in sports.
The wave is incredible. The wave is fun.
The wave is atrocious.
What's wrong with the wave?
The wave is a waste of time. The wave means that you're not enjoying the game that is being played in front of you. You need a distraction. The wave, you might as well be on TikTok skrilly scrolling. You might as well be.
The wave brings us together as a sports viewing community.
No, it always brings us apart.
How?
No one does it right.
Everybody, the last time the wave was done here was incredible.
Out.
And then you get to boo.
That's the only exception.
And then you get to boo the other side.
Exception.
And where the wave proves bullying works. Because the wave starts and then people start booing and you're like, why am I getting booed all of a sudden? And you realize, I have to do the thing that everybody in the sports arena is already doing.
You are there to watch a game and you are more focused on woo
you can
than
do
you are
both.
On the actual,
You can watch the game and wave. You can absolutely do that. That is.
I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it.
You can. That would be an atrocious pick, but you can absolutely take the wave.
With my fifth pick, egregious officiating. And that goes for every single sport. But when you see a call that is so bad that even if you are not a fan of either of the teams, you are identifying it as a bad call, because then it starts the effect of, well, the refs were out to get this team. Or the refs completely changed the trajectory of this game. And we see it in basketball, and we see it in football, and we see it in baseball, the Angel Hernandez effect in Major League Baseball. Like when you know the name of an official, an ump, a ref, you get into real tricky territory, and it causes the worst conversations between fans. It often causes delays of games, and delays of games is one of my biggest frustrating things, but I always attach it back to refs. Why do we have reviews? Because of officials. And reviews take too long, and games take too long, and it usually goes back to poor officiating.
That's a good pick. I don't know how hot a take this is. Swag surfing is worse than the wave. I said it. I stand on it.
I don't disagree.
I hate the way that we have decided to allow people who don't know how to swag surf to swag surf at sporting events. That's atrocious.
Can I right here? My people, just stop.
Just please.
We don't have to do it.
Please, you don't.
In fact, you shouldn't do it.
Don't.
You look bad.
The song is old now. Find something else to do.
Something new.
Something else.
Anything.
That you're good at. You're not good at swag surfing. It's atrocious.
And it's horrible to watch.
It's horrible.
It's secondhand embarrassment.
For everybody who has to watch.
For everybody involved.
Yes. All right.
Completely agree.
Nobody. Bad shots is one for me that is close. I'm not going to take it, but it's close. A bad shot will make me get up and throw things. Like it just will. But the one that I'm going to take, and it's crazy because I only care about it once every 4 years. That's the only time I care about it. But damn it, do I care. I will flip a table if I see the relay team drop the mother effing baton. Oh my God. You got once in every 4 years to get this shit right. And you're telling me that you can't hold on to the baton in the relay race? When you drop the baton, I get viscerally angry. I don't understand how that continues to happen for us. All of the relay teams are dropping batons. I'm sorry, but I'm angered by dropped batons. Hold on to the damn baton. My God.
Are you done? Are we done? I agree.
Does that not make you angry?
Yeah, it does.
When it happened, did it not make you want to viscerally punch something?
Also, don't hit your competitor in the head with the baton.
I'm fine with that. That's fine. Don't drop it. You see, she after whacking that chick on purpose, didn't drop the baton.
Yeah.
If she can whack an opponent upside the head on purpose and hold on to the baton,
so can you.
Y'all have got to get the handoff right.
So can you.
Relay teams for the U.S.
It's interesting. I don't think about the frustrations of track and field, but one of my other ones is unsuccessful hurdlers. Really? And my frustration comes in my pain for you. I think one of the most painful watches is watching someone who can't do the hurdles attempt to hurdle. Save yourself. Don't do this because it looks like it hurts so bad. Yeah. Any others on your list?
Unforced turnovers, bad shots, lack of care. That's frustrating. The men's national soccer team over here. Just the way they do things in general.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn frustrating. All of that is. Yeah. Looking at a 3-2 pitch. Striking out on a 3-2 pitch, looking. That's one that I inherited. That used to didn't frustrate me when I was a wee lad. I took ass whoopings from my father looking at 3-2 strikes. Yeah. He's like, no, swing the damn bat. Don't leave your future in somebody else's hands. Swing the mother effing bat. So yeah, that's one from baseball that really bothers me. What about you?
For baseball, runner on third with no outs and ending an inning with him still standing there. Missing short putts in golf. Yeah, just like whatever event when Rory McIlroy missed 3 4-footers in one setting, just make the putt. It's so frustrating. Getting Patrick Mahomes. Too much time. Ball's back in Patrick Mahomes' hands.
Could you not just make that universally getting superstar?
Yeah.
Because I think
that's a good one.
I think Michael, Jordan, LeBron, Steph is another one.
Steph is a good one.
Where Steph, all right.
Getting superstar.
There's nothing we can do to stop
the inevitability of this athlete.
Yeah.
This was more playing, but losing a golf ball that you swear was in the middle of the fairway. I swear it was right there and it's not there. And then giving up a goal in soccer or hockey when you have significantly outshot your opponent all game and you lose 1-0 because one got past, but you've outplayed them the entire game. Those are my big ones. And again, the wave is an abomination. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Theater Thursday. You had a big Marvel day yesterday. Yeah. You're going to tell me what I need to know. And I'm going to tell you about a play that you won't read, but that's okay. It was really interesting. I'll make somebody else read it. We'll get into a little movie news when we come back.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Anticipate each challenge. Make a quick response. Capitalize on every opportunity. And win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Tony was the defensive guy, but Zebo was the offensive guy. So you could speak to this. It's way worse when you're getting doubled, right?
I had went through that for when I was in Portland. Me on the team, you got triple. You hear me, Rose? You can't talk about those. You got to talk about triples.
You got triple teams.
This man was scoring on 3 dudes.
Swing, TA.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
I never in a million years would have ever thought that John Cena's final run would be as a heel.
I love it.
I love it.
Once they saw this from The Rock,
they knew it. Everybody knew it except for Cody, which was so good.
Great camera work by WWE.
And then the kick. Yeah, I don't think WWE gets enough credit for the camera work and the production quality. I mean, it is incredible.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
This team is doing everything that Taylor Jenkins and his coaching staff envisioned it could do.
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Welcome back. It is time for a little Theater Thursday. CJ, have you watched a movie as of late?
What's the name of the movie I watched? I watched that new Keke Palmer.
One of them days.
One of them days. I watched that on the Amazon Prime on Sunday. Was really excited to watch it.
No.
You might like it. I think you'll like it.
Enough?
Way more than I liked it.
Okay.
And I think you might actually like it.
Okay.
It follows a day in the life of two young women who are just trying to pay their rent after losing the rent money for some reason. Don't want to give too much away if you hadn't seen the trailer. And then boom, shenanigans pop off. It's one of those classic like coming of age type things.
Okay.
Set in LA. So I'm thinking, oh, this is gonna be like Friday, but more modern and women. So Friday, women, modern. Let's go. Scissors in it as well. There are a bunch of I feel comfortable saying black famous characters in there. I think Lil Rel Howery makes an appearance in there, and a couple of those type of comedians that I think are like black people really, really rock with that are in there. So the cast is star-studded. There are some funny moments in there as well, but all in all, for me, it was just like, okay, I'm glad I didn't see it in theaters, and I was really upset that I missed it in theaters at the time. So yeah, I didn't enjoy it, but maybe some of you will. They use, the current jargon and slang, and you know how I feel about the current slang type stuff. It immediately annoys me when I start hearing those types of words. I immediately shut off.
Is that getting old?
What?
Is that the experience of getting old? Because it's happening to me more now.
Oh yeah.
Too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but were you a big slang user?
No.
And neither was I growing
Slang has
up.
always felt like try-hardy.
For me, if I'm the one doing it, it
Yeah.
feels very, very try-hardy.
It doesn't
I
feel
just don't do
natural,
it.
so
No.
I don't do it often. Yeah.
So I just don't. And then, so now it is. But I would assume, like my sister, I would assume it's right up her 27-year-old
Yeah.
alley. You know, but for me, it's like, okay, I see what you were trying to do here, Issa, and the rest of the cast, but like it just wasn't for
Something
me.
misses.
Yeah, it missed me.
Well, so I ended up, in honor of True Theater Thursday, there's this new play opening on Broadway. It stars Sadie Sink, who was on Stranger Things, so it's a familiar name, one of those big names opening a new show, and it's called John Proctor is the Villain. And I've been hearing about this show for years. Like, it's just kind of one of those buzzy underground things that kept gaining popularity. It was written in 2018 by a playwright named Kimberly Bellflower, and now it's in previews on Broadway, and it opens in a couple of weeks. And so I was just Googling it, going into my flight out of Salt Lake City into Memphis, and I came across a free script. So the script is available online, and I started reading it, and next thing I knew, I just blew through this play. Like, it took me a little over an hour to read, and it was so good. My only knock on it, to go back to your point, it's written in 2018, it's set in a high school, and it uses some like high school kitschy slang. And to me, it's a little cringy. Like, when I read certain lines, I'm like, oh, no. But it wasn't enough to detract from an overall really interesting piece of writing, which goes back to, it's a class, a small town in Georgia, and a high school class studying The Crucible. And I don't know if you had to read The Crucible in school. I think I read The Crucible in school, and then when I did...
What happens in The Crucible?
So it's about the Salem witch trials.
Okay.
Or it's about Salem and a large group of women. It's about the Salem witch trials. But it was written by Arthur Miller in the 1950s, and so it was a metaphor on McCarthyism and when they were accusing various people of being communists, and just the overall idea of like the power of hysteria and how that leads to intolerance and how that can ultimately lead to people either like incriminating themselves, even if they didn't really do it, but they're trying to do it for self-preservation because they think they'll be punished less if they admit to one crime, or they'll accuse others to spare themselves, and suddenly it wraps everything up into this like very Salem-y idea of a Puritan society is an inherently guilty society because there's always something to be done wrong and there's always someone to accuse of doing something wrong. And this particular play focuses on the fact that notoriously you were taught about John Proctor as being one of the great like male heroes of American theater and of American writing. Like, this was one of the plays when I did my summer drama intensive at Yale. Like, we studied 4 plays, and The Crucible was one of them. And so it's really seen as like a beacon of character work. And John Proctor is mostly seen as a good guy. But this like re-identifies why. This is young girls in the middle of the Me Too movement looking at this character and saying like, why is John Proctor the hero of this story? This dude's the villain. Like, he had an affair with a child. Like, he had an affair with someone who worked in his house, who his family took in because her parents were brutally murdered in one of the many wars ongoing in America. And ultimately, like, he gets this notion of being a hero because he keeps his good name and his honor and refuses to, he basically becomes a martyr. Spoiler alert, end of The Crucible, John Proctor dies. He gets hung and ends up being one of the accused, but he won't admit to crimes that he didn't commit. But if he had just admitted that he had an affair, he could have saved himself and his whole family. But it's a really interesting take, and watching how women are treated, and specifically hysteria with women and how that can escalate so quickly, was really interesting. It's really, really good. If you ever read The Crucible, I love this notion of going back and like re-identifying old texts. Even with the book I read last year, James, going back and doing The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn through the viewpoint of Jim, and this like adaptation that also adds different relationships between the characters that you didn't takeaway in the Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. It's all very interesting. So if you want to add a play to your life, let me recommend John Proctor is the villain, and they use Lord's song Green Light, and I've been listening to it on repeat. And I have found all sorts of like knockoff bootlegs of old performances of this play done over the past couple of years. And it just seems like one that I would, if I had an open weekend and all the money in the world, I would fly to New York and see this play. Like, I'm that inspired by it. So it was cool.
Right, when it comes to the Orpheum, I look forward to seeing it.
And I hope that it does in 2037.
That's fine. We'll be here doing this show still.
Can't wait to talk to you about it.
2037, who's the national champion?
Oh,
Football and
Dubai
basketball.
University.
All right, Dubai University basketball. Who's the national champion?
Moscow Community College.
Well, it can't be a community college.
Oh, no, they are.
Okay.
But we can't give them full accreditation.
Moscow Community
We're still
College.
like trying to play.
NBA
something
champion?
there.
2027.
The Las Vegas Mavericks.
Here we go.
Yeah, now
All
we're
right, there it is. NFL 2037.
Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs have won another one. Back at it again. No, maybe that's the year the Cleveland Browns get one.
Jacob
What'd Jacob say?
is screaming Titans.
Okay, Jacob.
He's saying Cam Ward is going to lead them to the promised land in 2037.
I love that for
Remember
you.
how excited he was for Will Levis?
I do. It was
Yeah.
so sweet.
Yeah.
But that's what we do.
He still believes in Will Levis.
We get excited
He
about
still
these
believes in
things.
Will Levis.
All right, before we get out of here, real quick, Avengers Doomsday cast was announced yesterday.
Marvel does announcements better than they do movies at this point.
Okay.
Where they get you excited for the movie just off of the announcement that the movie is in production. And then for whatever reason here recently, the movie either does go to production or it goes to production and gets scrapped, or it goes to production and isn't as good as people wanted it to be. So here is your Doomsday cast so far. Chris Hemsworth is back. That's Thor. Vanessa Kirby is back. Invisible Woman. Anthony Mackie is back. Captain America. On and on and on and on and on down the list. The way that they...
Alan Cumming.
Did you see the way that they did the announcement?
Yeah, the chairs.
The chairs. And it's just one shot. They've got all the chairs on set and the camera moves through the chairs. And if you know the actors and actresses, you're like, oh, I'm excited. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, I'm excited. Now, from this cast, what is interesting, Jessica, is, and I'm sure you know this, so I don't have to tell you, we know that Thor is going to be around. We know Captain America, Black Panther, Ant-Man. We're aware that they are going to be around and in this movie in some sort of capacity. But if you look and you see Alan Cumming, like, wait, Alan Cumming? What did he play in the MCU? That's Nightcrawler from the old X-Men movies. James Marsden, Cyclops from the old X-Men movies. You're talking about you've got Professor X, Patrick Stewart from the old X-Men movies. You got Rebecca Romijn from Mystique.
I like ramen.
From the old X-Men movies. And so you've got X-Men heroes and you've got X-Men villains.
Got it.
And then you throw in there Namor is in here as well. The villain from Black Panther. The second Black Panther or the third, the second Black Panther movie. Shuri's little boyfriend in the ocean, Little Merman. He's in it, and he's not a good guy either. So here are the thoughts right now that everybody's having, and I'm going to try and articulate them because these aren't all my thoughts.
Okay.
Doomsday, Dr. Doom comes in from wherever Dr. Doom comes from, we know is going to be played by Robert Downey Jr. We knew that coming in. He's coming in to not just be the God tier villain, but he's coming in with a villain army that he's already gathered from across multiverses and bringing all of these types of villains together. So so when we see the God tier villains, the Ultrons and the Thanoses, it's always been, all right, Avengers, go out there and take care of this. Avengers assemble, let's make this happen.
Yeah.
Well, if he's got a villain team around him, you're going to get X-Men in this. You're going to get Fantastic Four in this. So you're going to get the Human Torch coming through as well. Talk about Invisible Girl, but Invisible Woman, but the Human Torch is in this one also. So you're going to get Fantastic Four and you're going to get X-Men in this. So you're going to combine not just villains from around the multiverse, from various stories. We've seen the superheroes team up.
Yeah.
We hadn't seen the villains team up in the same sort of way, which is going to be fun and exciting in its own right. But now you're seeing the various superhero teams team up to try and stop this threat. I was hopeful, and I still am, that in some capacity, Jonathan Majors' Kang is coming back. But this makes it seem like, no, we have shifted entirely from that storyline. And maybe he comes back after this, but this is the new God tier threat.
Okay.
Got to figure this out. Notable omissions from this list. Jessica was the one who brought this up to me. I don't even know. I'm telling you, the listeners. She was like, hey, where's Tom Holland at? Where's Spider-Man?
Where is he?
There's no Spider-Man here.
Where's Robert Downey Jr.?
He's on there, Jessica.
Oh.
He's Doom. We talked about that.
Oh yeah, we
You know
got
that.
to him.
Yeah. Stop saying
Why
things.
don't I see him?
Let me hype you up, man.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
I
be
asked you
quiet.
about another one.
Just yeah, you did. You said no Ruffalo? No.
Where's the Incredible Hulk?
Where's Hulk? And you told me like the last time we saw Hulk was in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
The last movie we saw him in was the end of Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
So there's still no Hulk. What's going on there? So those were the two big names that stood out to me. Like, oh, okay. So
where's
where are they? What are we
Benedict
doing?
Cumberbatch?
Where's Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Where's Doctor Strange?
Where is he?
So this is the cast as announced right now. Maybe there's some changes or some tweaks to it. But as of now, what I can say, what I am excited about is seeing the various superhero teams. These are the three premier superhero teams in the Marvel universe, comic book universe. The Avengers, in no particular order. Avengers, X-Men, Fantastic Four. Seeing them team up together to stop something else. Got your boy's blood pumping a little bit. Got the heart doing the little thumpity thump. I'm excited to see it. And now I'm curious because we really like, my wife and I really, and I think everybody does, like Tom Holland Spider-Man.
I do like Tom Holland
What is the
Spider-Man.
deal with that? Where are we going in that story? Can Marvel continue to tell that story? Or is this going to be one of those things where, all right, we're done renting him for now. Sony, you guys can have him back. And then Sony then, Jessica, goes forward with their version of the Spider-Verse, where they've already set up villain origin stories. We've already gotten Venom. We've already gotten the Morbius. We've already gotten who's my man with the Hunter? Kraven. We've already gotten Kraven the Hunter. So we've already gotten some Madam Web as well. So maybe they say, okay, cool. We got Spider-Man. We're going to continue with this story from here. I don't know. Maybe, who knows? But yeah, so Avengers Doomsday. I look forward to seeing it May 1st. As of now, I expect this to get pushed back. But as of now, May 1st, 2026.
All right. Grizzlies game day tonight.
No Samuel L. Jackson either. What's going on with the Skrulls and that? So maybe that becomes a TV. Maybe they're going to continue to do the TV show, because after this Avengers, the next year, as of now, May 9th of 2027, we're getting Avengers Secret Wars.
I still don't see Robert Downey Jr. on this list. I know he's the whole point on Doom.
I don't think he's
why isn't
on
he
this
on
list.
the list.
He's not on this list.
He's Dr. Doom, and it's the Avengers Doomsday cast so far.
Because everybody knows he's there. We knew Robert Downey because they made the announcement at Comic-Con last year, 2 years ago, that he was coming back, but not as Iron Man, but as Doomsday.
All right.
Loki is that Loki news.
I got a meeting.
Snuck in on me. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
well,
okay.
you got to give me more time to talk about more.
I know. I should have.
We should have led the show with the Marvel conversation.
It's okay. Don't worry. When May 1st, we'll talk about it again.
Of 2026.
Yeah. Because we're going to be right
We're
here
still
doing
here.
the same show. All right, everybody. Grizzlies Thunder tonight. We will be back tomorrow. I will not. I am out tomorrow, but CJ's got it covered here in studio. So I will see you all on Monday, but show will be tomorrow. We'll see if the Grizzlies can knock off the #1 team in the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder, to end this road trip before they come home for 3 games of their own. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. March Madness returns. Enjoy the Sweet 16 games. We'll see you later. Bye.